Who needs demo day when Joanna Gaines just reinvented the makeover with nothing but paint, trim, and a perfectly styled monstera?
She's calling it a Mini Reni, and we're calling it our new design obsession.
Hi there, I'm Shari, and this is my BFF Rhonda.
And welcome to Designing Bitches. This podcast is for women
and brave men
who eat, sleep, and breathe interior design and recognize their addiction to HGTV.
Whether you're rearranging your living room for the 12th time or here to justify another home goods spree, you're in the right place.
Let's talk design, disasters, and all the beautiful chaos in between.
This week, we're talking about a brand new show on the Magnolia Network that honestly feels like a warm hug from one of my design heroes, Joanna Gaines. She's back, but this time without Chip and without the construction chaos.
No sledgehammers, no knocking down walls, just pure design joy to scratch that itch Joanna has after a big renovation. It's called a Mini Reni, and Joanna's working her magic with nothing more than paint, moldings, and furniture. Honestly, it's kind of genius.
Exactly. She's proving that you don't need a full-blown reno to make a major impact. And of course, she's doing it with her signature calm, that design I would kill for, and a team that feels like an extension of her living room.
Friends, family, coworkers, basically anybody lucky to be in Joanna's orbit is getting a makeover. And all I could think was, I wish I was next.
This week, we're covering the very first episode Joanna Gaines does of Mini Reni, Season 1, Episode 1, called Indoor Whimsical Garden. It is crazy how many HGTV shows today were modeled after Fixer Upper.
It's clearly made the industry, I think, quite honestly. Made
I think
the channel.
so too.
I have to think that I really got into this when she and Chip had their show. I think that was the hook for me for HGTV, quite honestly.
I agree. I was a big fan of HGTV when it first came out. Mm-hmm. I loved the gardening shows. Mm-hmm. And as those kind of dwindled off and I was deep into my career, I kind of fell out of love with HGTV. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of years into Fixer Upper, because I wasn't an early adopter, friends started talking about this show and I thought, I need to watch it. And let me tell you, I was obsessed.
In love, yes.
And I feel like Joanna Gaines walked so half of HGTV could run. They made Shiplap a household name.
Great.
Modern Farmhouse a household name. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, while we've broken up with Shiplap since, I still love Joanna.
Yeah, I read a short summary on the internet from some people that had their houses featured on the show.
Oh, wow.
And they say you don't see Chip and Joanna as much as it is implied.
Okay.
You're not best friends after you don't hang out.
Damn it.
I know.
I want her as a bestie.
But they also said, interestingly, Chip is even more rambunctious than he appears.
How is that possible?
I know. And Joanna's even more quiet.
I relate to Joanna in that way because
Really?
I definitely prefer introversion.
Yeah, no, I'm more the Chip, but I'm not going to eat a cockroach or jump through a wall to impress people. These interviews also said they think she's genius and she delivered exactly what they were looking for without even knowing what that was. So she has that knack about her. I would say they also said the renovation was quality, thick wood trim, beautiful carpentry,
nice.
Class A job, the whole 9 yards, no complaints. They don't get to keep the staging, which I think sometimes really makes it, right?
Now they can buy it though, right?
They can, yeah, they can. But think what that would add to your overall renovation budget.
And just a reminder, besties, we're actually still talking about Fixer Upper.
We'll
get into the new show in a moment.
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, I'd have to throw all my old stuff out and take a second job to afford Joanna's selections. There's no way I'd keep what I had with her renovation. But I thought she looked great. Getting back to the episode, I thought she looked fantastic. Her hair is glowing. I thought the overall episode without Chip being there had such a nice feeling of zen.
It did. It felt like we were with besties, right? Like
yes,
this was
exactly.
kind of like a little woman's creation space. And there's something
agree.
about Joanna, it isn't just her design, and her design and aesthetic and I are not always on the same page, but it's the way she builds spaces and the way they've built their businesses with, I want to say it's sort of with like heart and clarity and a real purpose. I'm thinking about, if you get Magnolia magazine, which I do, the Magnolia Manifesto.
Yes.
Like there's really something about how they want to move forward, and it's very intentional. And
Yeah.
like that kind of creative force, I am in awe of, and I would always respect.
Yeah, you have to respect people who have built an empire, right?
Yes.
A Magnolia empire. They have their own channel, like Oprah. It's a
The
big
silos,
deal.
the network, the magazine. Like she's a
The hotel.
visionary, a great brand builder. And it's sort of like she's mastered this making the personal universal.
Yeah, yeah, without any bad press.
Yeah, no. They've had some bad press.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't want to actually give it voice.
Okay.
I'm not going to. Like if you
Don't.
besties are curious, just Google it. But I also think because we've really been focused on kind of our approach to building this podcast.
Yeah.
We just had a strategy meeting yesterday, so it's really top of mind. And when I think about our approach, I really want to model it after kind of how they've been in the creative process, like her and Chip.
It's
And
certainly
others
a
might think
good
it's
roadmap.
funny that we use sleep, creep, and leap to describe our podcast journey and our path forward. But I feel like it makes perfect sense to us. And when I was watching this episode and thinking about how Chip and Joanna have moved forward, I feel like it would make perfect sense to Joanna, especially because she's a gardener.
Yeah. The reason I love it is I feel very safe with it. I feel protected and excited at the same time.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this Mini Reni concept. So I didn't initially like Mini Reni, the term, but I honestly, it's grown on me. It's really grown on me.
Yeah. She said she craves smaller projects after a big renovation. And I can see what she means, and that it takes so long.
Yes.
She said she loves the before and after, right? And when
Yeah.
it's months before you see it, this is a week.
I love when she says the Mini Reni is a way for her to get her wiggles out in smaller ways without this huge time commitment for her and budget commitment for the homeowners.
Yeah. I like that she has rules because you can see how quickly, without rules, that this could get out of control and you'd be back into the major renovation.
There's already a rule implied that she doesn't specifically call out. And that's the budget. And then what are the other rules? No demo day.
Yeah, no tearing down walls. All of the items must be sourced within the local area.
Or within a week.
No, it'll be here in 3 months kind of thing.
No custom tile coming in.
No, or made while she's doing the renovation. And she basically asked employees and friends and family, hey, do you know anybody that wants a mini renovation? And I just thought, why can't I be one of those people? I would love that.
Well, I feel like we're not friends, family, or coworkers.
No, we're not.
So until we're in that space, we're not on the radar.
Yes.
But I do love that they do it. And there was a little bit that I was confused about this project because at one point when she talks about this particular project, she says these people were getting ready to move in. But when they go to the house, it appears that they have already moved in.
Clearly.
So I don't know if I misheard that, but it almost sounded like they get together to talk about these projects, that they're kind of looking through a lot of options and they select this one.
Yes.
And I didn't know if I caught that right or not, but that's sort of what it felt like to me. And I would imagine if you have an opportunity for Joanna Gaines to do any room in your house, my guess is they're not on the hunt for people to do this for, that they probably have a ton of people who want to be included.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. The homeowner, she said, gave her free reign. Free reign.
Oh, that's
and
so nice.
In Joanna's book, she always says, like, she wants you to describe your design style in words, right? Give her 3 words or 4 words. And so this homeowner mentions storied, era authentic, detailed, and artful twist. Now, I don't know about you, Shari, but these are very interesting choices of words. This must be someone who's a creative.
None of these words are something I would pick.
No.
Now, I immediately, started thinking about, well, what words would I describe? And I feel like I would take a couple of weeks and probably use ChatGPT to help me come up with these 4 words. And that probably says a lot about me. That's not necessarily positive, but I would probably stress over finding these 4 words.
Yeah.
to
I would
describe
use
the
words.
space.
Yeah, like welcoming, comfortable. Those would be my words for sure. But yeah, era authentic, artful twist.
Oh my God, like my house was built in 1993. Like era authentic is the last thing I'd want it to be.
And you're like,
I feel like I've demoed everything about the era this house was built. Like none of that still exists.
No, the 1990s out of your house.
No, you're right. I know. And then when she's looking through the options,
yes.
and she finds her inspiration in things like the details on the fireplace and the built-in corner cabinet. And I thought, oh, cue Rhonda saying I would just tear that fireplace out.
Yeah, Shari would be like, I don't need a fireplace. Tear that up.
I don't need that fireplace. I don't need it there.
I want it in another room.
I need a fireplace.
Yeah, she started with the beautiful arts and crafts looking wallpaper.
Yeah.
So that might have been the arty, the arty design kind
It
of.
almost looked like a William Morris design.
Yeah, and she basically the green, right? She wanted green with gold and white accents. And I loved how she pulled all the pink colors from the wallpaper and the tile color, right?
Yes. And the budget is $15,000.
Not crazy.
And then Joanna goes through the house and decides they're going to do 3 rooms to stay within budget. And she selects the living room, dining room, and breakfast nook because they all kind of flow together and she can do them within the budget. And those 3 rooms would make a big impact. She also comments that she's not going to touch the kitchen because that would start to become a construction project. And that's not within the rule set of a Mini Reni.
No, and I do mention at the end of my notes, I put that kitchen's going to look really drab. It's going to look real like it needs a renovation after
I feel
seeing
like the
Joanna's.
kitchen renovation comes next because you're right. You're absolutely right.
Really quick, yeah. She did advise finalizing the design before starting.
I think that's smart.
I think that's so smart, and I really wish I'd have done that before I started my office makeover. I put up these, wall of acoustic wood panels, and now I'm trying to find a desk. Like I'm trying to brute force everything from here out into this room.
That's true.
Yeah, where I already have a fancy light fixture. I already have built-in IKEA cabinets, and I'm suffering. I need some inspiration and some discipline. So finalizing before you start.
So as you thought about this, because you're currently working on this office, like Besties, we're living in the office reno with Rhonda because right now she's recording the podcast from some closet in her house.
So I'm in the office.
But I wondered if you thought about, maybe... And I know you've seen the masterclass that Joanna gives, which talks about like doing these keywords. Did you have keywords? Have you thought, let me take a step back from my office redo and incorporate some of these Joanna concepts?
No, I went at it like a child would.
Yeah.
I basically saw these acoustic wood panels at Costco and said, I need some acoustic panels because we're recording a podcast and I need to make the sound better.
What's the name of that? Oh, Impulse Shopper.
And, I'm saving so much money buying it at Costco.
Exactly.
And blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I should have started again. If I could do it again, finalize your design, get your words, get your approach together.
Watching this made me think I have been half-assed working on my primary bedroom. And it's like halfway done. I watched the show and I thought, I'm going to go back to kind of the basics that she talks about.
Yes.
And also I loved that throughout the show, she gives little design tips and they show up on the screen. And I think that was really helpful. The importance also of having a plan in the Mini Reni is because they have that week deadline. And if you don't know if you can source the materials within a week, like you can't wait until you're in the middle of the project to go, like that wallpaper's on back order for 5 months.
No. I did like the names of these paint. Is this Joanna's line of paint, I assume?
I actually don't know, but you could be
Wedding
right.
Band Blue.
Yeah.
Garden Party Green. Oh, delicious names.
Oh, now when they said they were going to paint the living room walls green and the trim blue, you can imagine the freak out that was happening in my head.
I can't.
First of all, I like almost all my walls are white, and I'm just thinking,
Yep.
OMG. OMG. Why don't you just put some plaid wallpaper on the wall while you're at it? I could not imagine. And literally in my head, I'm just thinking, I could not even I totally could not picture it. Now that blue tends to gray a lot, the blue they ended up using.
Almost white. It's so light. I mean, we weren't there in the room to see it in that light, but it almost looked like a shade of white to me. It was so light. And
I totally trust Joanna's instincts, and I knew this wasn't going to look bad, but I could not. I could not have a vision for it.
It is funny how your mind goes to a grass green with a navy blue, right? Or something.
Exactly. And also,
really awful version
honestly,
of blue. Yeah.
I don't have the color guts. And I had to ask myself, am I color gutless?
Am I color gutless? I think you are, but only because you know yourself well enough to know that you've tried color and almost every time it fails for you.
I have to paint over it. I don't like painting in the first place, so then I have to go over it, and I feel like a total failure.
Yeah, I think again, you know yourself well enough that you're going to crave the white. That's the only thing you're really going to be happy with.
Thanks for making me feel better, Rhonda.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I'm a person that likes color. I want color in my rooms. I crave it, but I am the person that goes to the store and buys the paint, gets 10 chips, paints them on the wall, does all the sampling, and then it never fails. I am just like Joanna, that I decide on a paint, I put it on the wall, and the next day I stand there saying, yeah, that's not what I picked. That's not what I want. So when it happens to, the design queen, Joanna Gaines, puts the paint up and says, this is not right, and goes back to her original plan. And I think the quote she said was, sometimes your first instinct is your best instinct. So, I did appreciate that even Joanna has to suffer some of the pains. Now, on the other hand, you and I have to repaint our walls. Joanna just tells somebody else to do it. So there is, there is that.
Now then Joanna starts describing what they're going to do in the breakfast nook. And in the window area to highlight it and give it its own moment. And I started laughing like another designer's talking about moments.
Yes, we need a moment.
And it's going to be this golden white that looks like handmade tiles.
Yeah, what do they call those tiles? Are those artisanal? Is that what they're artisanal tiles
I feel like, They also call it Zalige.
Okay. She seems to be in love with that right now because she's using it a lot.
It's really like it's having a moment in the design industry, that's for sure.
Okay.
And it's going to be these golden white tiles laid in a checkerboard pattern. And I immediately think of the shower that Christina does in the flip off.
Yes, exactly. For her mother design shower.
And when she says, because at their design meeting, there are all these paint chips out there. And when it turns out that they're only using 2 paint colors in all 3 rooms, I'm like, nuh-uh. But that is exactly what they did.
Well, not exactly, because the tile is gold, right?
No, paint colors.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying there's another color introduced with the tile. It never occurred to me to put tile on a wall that is not affected by water.
We'll talk about the reveal later. It's a beautiful choice.
Absolutely, but that would not dawn on me to
either.
Put tile on a wall that is not affected by, just for me, tile goes on where there's a water problem.
Can you imagine thinking about how hard it is to get wallpaper off? Can you imagine when you get bored of the tile and you're like having to redo all the drywall?
Yeah, especially at that cost. Can you imagine? But anyway, I thought it was beautiful and interesting. She admits she went bolder than usual, which really surprised me.
I liked it. And I found myself throughout this episode thinking about how much of what she's creating in these spaces is about those little details.
Yes, beautiful details.
Now, the work starts, and Joanna shares that each of these rooms... I'm going to laugh when I say this. Each of these rooms can be done with 1 or 2 people. And I immediately start thinking, yes, 1 or 2 people who have some really good skills in
contractors,
painting, hanging wallpaper, building those shelves, like
tile install.
Me or you and me trying to do this same project. First of all, it would be a 6-month project and not a 1-week project.
Yes.
So I felt like that was a little bit... It was a little bit of gaslighting by Joanna.
Yes. And
sure, 1 or 2 people can do it, but
if it was you and me, I'd be in there hanging that wallpaper by myself. And you'd be in the other room trying to finish the painting.
Yeah,
Angry.
I've actually laid tile before, but it's been a long time, so I would probably cut a finger off.
Yeah. It's in the emergency room. I'll finish the
Then
wallpaper.
we'd need our recovery time, so make that, it's probably an 8-month project. Now, besties, if you're thinking like somehow that Rhonda and I live together in the same house, we don't.
We do not.
We're talking about doing things together, but we actually live in 2 different cities.
Yes, it would be.
So we just call each other and complain about our little design projects all the time.
Send
and
pictures.
How they failed.
She did do a short side trip to Crew in the garden picking flowers.
Oh, I love that. First of all, I love her gardens and those zinnias that were so big.
My goodness, yes.
And Crew is adorable.
He is, yes. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Does she have a Downton Abbey sized staff to maintain these gardens? She has a rose garden, this wildflower garden, this flower garden, this veg garden. She has bees. Who is maintaining all of this?
I actually don't know, but in my head, the way it works is she is so hands-on. This is a woman
who I think so too.
Remade a biscuit recipe 5 or 10 times to get it exactly right. And I think the only way, like those roses get trimmed, that's Joanna does it.
Yeah, no, they show
Whoever
enough shots of her out there doing it.
She does it.
Mm-hmm. They have enough shots of her out there working in the garden, but part of me is like, I know how much work my garden is, and it's
and it could also be that she gives very specific instructions to garden staff, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe the garden staff is Chip. Maybe Chip's out there cutting roses.
I have a feeling he's in the office making money, making deals, making contracts.
And then she also changes her mind about, like, she very specifically has a design for how the trim is going to work in the dining room.
Yes.
Along with the wallpaper.
Compared to
she was going to do like a pencil line, like put the wallpaper, hang it 1 foot below the top of the wall, do a pencil molding, and then do crown molding with some egg crate molding below it. Like, looks very fancy. But when she sees it up, she uses this analogy with jeans.
Yes.
That once you've heard it, you can't unhear it. And I'm going to start thinking about how I'm going to do some design and using jean analogies.
Yes.
And that great design is like a great pair of jeans.
This room has muffin top.
And this room has a muffin top. I loved that. And she decides to add wallpaper above the pencil line, and it absolutely transforms how it looks.
And thank God she still had some left, because most of us would have measured exactly and not have had enough to put that second level. So you have to go back online. You have to order some more wallpaper, and guess what? It's a different lot number. So now it's a different color.
I also did like that I have the same experience with my projects. I have this vision. Sometimes I actually do a drawing and in my head, it's going to look great. And then when I actually put it up, like it's not exactly what I was envisioning. And then I have to adjust. And I feel like most people probably experience that with their design projects. And I loved that Joanna shared those with us.
Yes. So, the final reveal?
Well, wait.
Oh, wait.
I need to talk about they're trooping through the Magnolia home store.
Yes.
First of all, I'm thinking of her original Magnolia home store, the little shop.
Yeah, that little tiny 7-Eleven-sized building.
This new store is vastly different. And, I love a Monstera Deliciosa.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And they are used abundantly throughout the store, but they go around a corner and there's like this stack of monsteras.
Yep.
It's at least 3 plants, and immediately I'm like, I need to find a place to do that in my house. That was my first thought. I need to find a place to do that. My second thought was, oh my God, I need to clean the leaves of my monsteras because hers are all shiny, and mine,
like I said, staff.
And mine, I'm just thinking, oh, like they're suffering. I need to clean the leaves of my monsteras. That's my project for this afternoon.
Oh, excellent. All right.
And then the last thing before we get to the reveal, Joanna has a long conversation with us about grounding your space when you style it.
Oh, okay.
And she's talking about the rugs. And grounding isn't necessarily putting some dark color on your floor because she uses some very light colored rugs, but it's about how it pulls everything together, and it's the idea of centering a room.
Yeah.
and
Really
how
important.
it really shifts it. And as she's talking about it, you can absolutely see that it puts everything kind of on the same plane.
Yeah. She also talks about how busy the walls are, and so keeping everything neutral as far as the
Yes.
furniture.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give you that visual clutter that you hate in some of the other design shows.
Mm-hmm. So the reveal,
yes,
da-da-da.
so charming and welcoming.
Yes.
But again, Shari, where does the
Yes.
TV go?
You know what? I was so in love with these rooms that I actually never thought about it. I'm going to have to go back and watch the episode.
She clearly is not pushing Magnolia Network on her clients, because there is no television in her design.
Well, we don't know is maybe there's a TV room.
That's what I was thinking. Another part of the house, maybe there's a room where they go to watch TV. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
funny.
But yeah, I did that where's the TV go moment. It just is never there.
Now, speaking of the living room, those 3 little pieces of trim, they spaced out in that room that added verticality, the little thin slats. Like I was in love with that.
Me too. I would have felt ridiculous doing that. If I said to my husband, we're going to put 3 slats up and they're going to be 10 inches apart, he'd have been, why? Why are we doing this?
No, it looks so good.
Such a difference.
And I was thinking, I bet that would look good in my guest room.
It would.
It would. And if I left it the color of the wood that's the trim on the nightstand.
Yes.
And now I'm thinking, would it be all the walls? No, just the wall behind the bed.
No. But Shari, I did read on the internet that feature walls are out.
Oh, no.
Just saying. Just like the great room,
Just like
the feature
no
room.
more open concept houses.
Yeah, as someone who has a feature wall in almost every room in my house, I did not appreciate reading that.
It's so funny. I actually saw a realtor post that one of the ways you can help your home sell is to take out a feature wall, and I almost peed my pants.
There it is. Well, you know what?
I thought, I don't believe you.
They're going to have to change that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I would ever buy a house because of a feature wall, but maybe. I don't know.
And then we get to the dining room, and Joanna says she wanted to create a magical moment in the dining room, and it absolutely is.
Lovely magical moment. Yes, agree. That
And then when
wallpaper,
she
the
shows-
trim, beautiful.
It all went together so beautifully. I was worried a little bit about the light-colored rug underneath the dining room table.
Well, what about the white furniture in the living room? I thought clearly there are not toddlers or large dogs living in this house.
Yeah, or they certainly can't eat in that room. And then she describes how the tapers on the dining table, she's been very specific about the color because it's pulling the color that's in the wallpaper.
Yeah.
But also the tapers have burned tips, and I have to replace a taper that has a burned tip. Like I want mine to look like you never used them.
You have got to get some therapy. That's bananas.
I do. And I was thinking, maybe I should burn them. No. In fact, I like ones with lids so you never see the burned ugly stuff on top.
God. That's so random. You can't have these burnt candles. You know who else was that way?
What's that?
Marie Antoinette. So if you ever go to Versailles, they talk about how they would only burn the candles for one setting, and then whatever candle was left, they would sell it and then buy brand new candles. That's one of the reasons there was a revolution. Just saying.
My gosh.
Yeah, you and Marie Antoinette.
Because maybe somehow I'm related to her too.
Well, you're convinced you're nobility, so there it is.
Well, I am. Now, my favorite room, though, which you probably already know, is the breakfast nook.
Yes.
It's my favorite of the 3. It's so Shari-coded, white walls, round table, lots of plants and shelves to style. And the checkerboard tile on the window wall absolutely
some personality.
Does, and it adds a finishing element to the space, and it draws your eye through the room.
If she hadn't have done that, it would have just been, a boring little space. So, gosh, dang it, Joanna, you are good.
But it is absolutely, of the 3, like no cap, that is my favorite.
I like the living room. It just looks, you walk right into that room. The front door goes right into that room, which I usually don't like. But I will tell you, it just felt like you would walk in there and go, I'm home. This feels so welcoming, so lovely.
True. Yeah. I feel like I was so taken with the molding they had put on the walls and how much I wanted to use it in my guest space that I kind of just didn't really see the rest.
Yeah.
But in the breakfast nook, let's go back to my favorite room.
Okay.
She talks about how the round table creates softness.
Yes.
Because there's so many hard edges in this space. And I absolutely thought about you and I in Crate and Barrel yesterday. Mm-hmm. And you're in love with these cabinets that are arched.
Yep.
But you were afraid you don't have any other arches in the space. Mm-mm. And that either you would go arch crazy and make your husband start building all kinds of arches throughout your house. And like your walls are 10 feet high. And that also because you have so many 90-degree lines in your house. And it wouldn't go. But I think Joanna gives you the exact reason why those are probably the type of bookshelves you need. Mm-hmm. You need to create a little softness.
I agree. No, I've been thinking about it for sure.
So Crate and Barrel, I think Joanna Gaines just made you a sale from Rhonda.
Well, again, we'll see. We'll see.
Anything else about the reveal, Rhonda?
No. I would say I really enjoyed this episode of Joanna without Chip. Mm-hmm. I loved her little sweater with Joey.
Yes.
Joey on it. Love it. I feel like we got to see a little more of her personality without Chip's energy dominating.
You're right.
And it, again, like I said in the beginning, it felt kind of zen-like. I really felt relaxed watching this show. It had a definite relaxing energy that is not at all there when Chip is running through walls and, like I said, eating a cockroach. And, all the things Chip does. So
yes.
I will, my only criticism of the episode is, despite trying to appear a little more achievable for the average person, I don't think this is something a homeowner could ever achieve by themselves. It did not feel DIY to me at all.
I feel like, because I believe anything's possible,
of
I feel
course,
like it would be possible, but that it's way more than a week.
Yeah, it did
if you
show.
Don't know already how to lay tile.
Yeah.
If you already don't know, because you're also working with those Liege tiles that
which
aren't
are not the
exactly
easiest,
square.
I understand.
You'd be driving yourself nuts unless you know how to do that. And the wallpaper, and you're the wallpaper wizard, but I'm the wallpaper idiot. And I was convinced based on how you talked about it, like that it was so easy, but I was misled by you.
I am sorry.
Because I tried to do it, and a month later, and me crying, and my office still being a mess, and it all being Rhonda's fault. Finally, I have 2 walls wallpapered, and I'm not doing it anymore.
No, it's good. It's good.
That's it. I'm done.
Done. Anyway, I did feel like this was not the average makeover. Even again, it was just so beautiful. But it did show how quickly a couple of rooms, could be completely changed.
And that you're doing it with, you didn't take down any walls.
Yeah.
This is about using trim and paint mostly, and also restyling it.
Yeah. It looked beautiful. Again, I'm thinking the rest of the house is now looking dingy. Every time she walks through that breakfast nook and has to look at her kitchen cabinets that need touch-ups. The baseboards need to be painted again. It never ends. It never ends. So, anyway. Well,
besties, that wraps up our recap of Mini Reni episode 1, where Joanna Gaines showed us that you don't need a sledgehammer or a chip to create something magical. Just give her a week, a scallop, and $15K.
She transformed 3 rooms in a 1930s cottage into a garden dream. And with just 2 paint colors, a checkerboard tile, and some seriously bold trim. I loved it, and I still don't know how they sourced everything that fast.
I think you're right contact. That a lot of it comes from her own company. But I struggled to get throw pillows delivered on time. And she's out here pulling together 3 rooms in under a week. Yeah. I do not have her color courage. Call me color gutless. But the end result was stunning. That breakfast nook, Shari-coded to the max.
Thumbs up, yes. We've got to give Jo a slow clap for even coming up with a Mini Reni concept. No demo, no stress, just clever design, quick impact. It's the design challenge we didn't know we needed.
Absolutely. Which is why we're thinking of doing our own Mini Reni challenge. No. Buckle up, besties. Keep an eye on our socials to see if we're brave enough to show the before shots.
Don't judge. Don't judge. Spoiler, I already regret agreeing to do this. Gosh.
And as always, we have some apologies to make. I'm sorry to the burn taper candle community.
Is there
I
one?
see you, I relate to you, but I still hate the look.
Who are these people? Come on. Oh, well, after the power goes out, you'll have your own burn taper issue. So,
If you're vibing with us and your brain is basically made of HGTV at this point, you need to catch up on all of our episodes at designingbitches.com. We're literally everywhere you listen to podcasts, so hit that follow, like, star, or whatever button your app throws at you. We're not picky, we're just needy. Well, until next time, besties, bye!
bye. See you soon.